Okay, so the trial is going, and then we reach the end of the trial. Diddy does not take the stand, and the defense doesn't call any witnesses. And at this moment, this is July 1st, 2025, the jury is deliberating. How do you feel about the overall case?
I haven't honestly been even keeping up with it.
Okay. But you do have, you've
Ties
heard
to
various
it.
things
Yeah.
here and there since you
Yeah.
are kind of connected to it. Oh, what do you think will happen? Because he has 3 big charges. There's Rico, where they're saying that he has a criminal enterprise, which includes kidnapping, arson, drugs, and so forth. There is sex trafficking, Cassie by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation of Cassie to engage in prostitution. Those are the 3 charges. Rico is the most serious, sex trafficking is the next most serious, and prostitution is, potentially a slap on the wrist. Number 1, do you feel like you were trafficked?
No.
Okay. And you don't feel that Jane Doe was forced to be in the situation?
No, I feel like she was enjoying it and wanted to be there. I didn't feel like it was a forced situation.
Right, because the 3 charges don't include Jane Doe at all. She was just there as a witness. Do you think, based on what you know, that Diddy will be guilty of any of these or all of these?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
Because from the way my situation went, if her situation was the same as that one, I feel like it was all consensual and there was no drugs, nobody felt forced. But I don't know the dynamics of that situation to really, to say anything about it. But from my experience with Jane Doe, I wouldn't say he'll be guilty.
Right. One of the things that the defense said in their final arguments was that you can't convict Diddy of sex trafficking Cassie because he never made any money off of Cassie. They were just having freak-offs. He wasn't prostituting her. He wasn't having her having her have sex with men for money.
He was spending money for her, pretty much.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting, I remember Punisher told me that every single time that he had sessions with him, and had about like 12 sessions, she would reach out, she would text him, he would show up, and she would pay him herself at the end of the night. You were getting paid by Jane Doe, right?
Yeah.
So Diddy never actually handed you the money?
Nope.
Okay. And that essentially, it's an interesting situation because I feel like some of these girls who are testifying, they could technically be charged with some of the same stuff that Diddy was charged with.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the only thing, if he were to get charged, was like hitting her. You know what I'm saying? The elevator.
That's not
thing.
even a charge.
Yeah.
Domestic violence. This, based on all the lawyers I've spoken to, some of which were actually close to the case, they've all said this is really a domestic violence case that's ballooned into a RICO and sex trafficking and everything else like that. But really all it is domestic violence.
Pretty much. That's the guilty verdict I see out of the whole situation.
There's a couple that was taking a lot of drugs. There was a lot of money. They would get high and get angry and start hitting each other, more so him than her. But there was some back and forth and so forth. But essentially, that's the real crime. All this other stuff, I just don't see it.
Yeah, because I feel like all the other stuff is stuff people do on a regular basis, but because he's in the limelight, it's a situation kind of,